and welcome to a Vlogmas edition of the Sarah Seams podcast. It is, what day is it? It is June 10th, Saturday, beautiful spring day here in Columbus, Ohio, where I live with my partner Troy and our cats Alex and Moo. It is pretty early here. It's 9:15. Maybe it's not that early. I actually normally don't sleep in this late on the weekends, but I went out last night for a friend's birthday and we were out pretty late. I was probably up till like 1:30, which is pretty late for me. And yeah, so I slept in a little bit this morning. I got up, made some blueberry muffins, which are in the oven right now. And you might have, this is my first time trying a vlog format, so I'm not sure where I will put the baking footage. It might have been before this, it might be after. Regardless, I will show you how the muffins turned out. I am drinking a cup of my favorite tea. It's Constant Comment by wow, it just escaped me. I think it's Bigelow. It's like a black tea with orange and spices. It's my favorite. I probably have at least 2 cups a day with some honey. And I am wearing my Friday shrug, which I've showed on the regular podcast before. This is a free pattern from Caddy Jack's Knits. And there's like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday version, and this is the Friday version, which has a fade. And this just lives in my craft room. So a lot of times in the mornings when I first get up and I'm kind of chilly, I'll throw this on. And you can see I just used like crazy stash yarns for mine. And I tried to follow the fade as closely as possible, but yeah, it kind of starts with this like neutral brown and then fades into a couple pops of blue, and then the main fade is from this like chartreuse to this pink to purple and then back again. I really like this just to wear like in the mornings when it's cool, and even I could see myself wearing it as like more of a cowl even in the winter, like under a coat. But it is pretty bright, so I don't wear it out that often, but I love just having it here in my craft room. And this is a different view of my craft room here. If you watch the normal podcast, that filing cabinet is like right in this corner in front of me, but you can see here behind me the bookshelves that I use for all my storage, and then my knitting chair where I do a lot of my crafting, and a quilt that I made there. So yeah, this is gonna be a fun weekend filled with lots of crafty goodness. So I thought I would try doing a vlog before I jump into my summer vlog series that's gonna be in a couple of weeks, because I'm taking a week off of work just to have a staycation and do lots of making and kind of recharge my batteries. And I thought it would be fun to do a series of vlogs during that week. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do every day or every other day. I wanna try for every day, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I wanted to do a practice one, so this weekend there's lots of fun stuff going on. Today I am going to be doing some knitting in public. It's Worldwide Knit in Public Day, so we're planning to go to a local park and do some knitting. Well, when I say we, I mean I'm making Troy go with me, and he'll probably be reading a book while I knit. But that's fine. So I'll try and get some footage of that. And then this afternoon we're going to the Columbus Arts Festival, which is a huge arts festival here in downtown Columbus. It's right along the river. It's really beautiful, tons of vendors, musicians. It's just a really fun time. So we're gonna go check that out with my sister and some of her friends, probably go out to dinner somewhere. And then tomorrow I'm really excited about, I mentioned this on the podcast already, tomorrow there is a fabric and craft supply swap at one of my local craft stores called So to Speak. And that is one of my favorite events of the year. Last year I got so much stuff. You basically bring anything you want to, pass on, whether that's fabric, generic craft supplies, yarn, me-made garments, and you put them out on the tables, and then you're free to take anything that other people have brought. So I really am excited. Like I said, last year I got so much good stuff, so I'm excited to see what's there this year. I'm going to that with my friend Mariah, who also sews quite a bit. Then we're gonna go out for lunch, meet one of our other friends for lunch, and I think that's it. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't know. If it comes back to me, I'll tell you later on. So yeah, right now I'm just gonna do a little bit of work on one of my whips. I'm working on a sweater for my friend Mariah, who I just mentioned. Her son is turning 1 in July, and I am knitting a little sweater for him. It's looking really big. It's the Melange Sweater Junior by Petite Knit, and it has a lot of intended ease, and I made the size 2 to 3 so that he would have room to grow into it versus like making the size 1. But I don't know, I'm just looking at it and I'm like, he's just a little baby, but it'll be fine. He'll have room to grow into it, and it is turning out really cute. So I'm gonna work on that for a little bit and probably listen to an audiobook, might listen to some music. I am like in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series right now. I kept seeing everyone recommend it, and I was like, fine, I'll give it a try. And it took me a minute to get into it, but now I'm like into it. Like I've read the second and third book in like 4 days. So I might listen to some of that, or I might listen to one of my favorite albums that's come out this year, Stick Season by Noah Kahan. An extended version was just released with a bunch of additional songs. I might listen to some of that. But I'm just gonna enjoy the nice morning and my tea and my muffins and do some knitting, and I'll talk to you later. Hi again, it's now a little bit later in the morning, and I've come out to water the plants in our little garden bed, and I thought I would just show you how it's progressing. So we got this pretty little hanging basket of petunias, and then over here are the herbs. So I bought these from a local urban farmer as starters, and initially I planted them in these containers, and then I was keeping them in our breezeway, which doesn't get a lot of direct sun, and they weren't doing very well. So I decided to move them out here into the front bed, and they've been much happier since we moved them out here. They're still recovering a little bit, but they're definitely looking better. So we've got basil over here, rosemary, dill, mint, sage, thyme, parsley, and chives. And there was also oregano and cilantro, but those ones didn't make it, unfortunately. Over here are the roses, which are not looking as great now as they did last week. They were absolutely beautiful, but they have started to wilt a little bit, and like the second buds are starting to come on, and you can see we need to do a lot of weeding. But yeah, we have these two really pretty pink rose bushes, and then this white one, which is more of a, like, I don't know what kind of rose it is. It's like softer, more open petals. It's not as it doesn't look like a traditional rose, as you can see. And when the buds come on, they're bright yellow, and then they fade into this pretty creamy color. All right, I've got my watering can filled up. Let's go water the garden boxes. So it's hard to record and water at the same time because I only have 2 hands. So I'm just going to show you the gardens and then I'll do the watering. So here in the first bed we have 2 tomato plants. This is an heirloom beefsteak type of tomato, and it's doing really well. Like, it's grown a lot. This little guy is a dwarf cherry tomato. It has not gotten any bigger since I planted it, even though you can see it's already making fruit, but I don't know what the deal is with this, and it looks kind of yellow, so I'm not sure about him. Just keeping an eye on him. Over here is my favorite garden box, the peppers. So we have a bunch of different kinds of peppers and they're all doing really well. So back here is a red bell pepper, and you can see that first pepper on there. In front of that, these are, look at that guy, these are giant Marconi sweet peppers, which I've never had before, but it looks promising. In the middle row we have some orange bell peppers, and then in the front we have some lunchbox orange peppers, and then lastly we have some poblanos and jalapenos, which this jalapeno looks like it's about to have a ton of little peppers on it. Over here we have marigolds, and then the first few rows are green onions. You can see them coming up. And then over here we have some radishes. And in the last box we have some more marigolds, and all of the other plants you see in here are lima beans, a shrub variety of lima bean. And you can see there's a couple here that didn't quite make it, and I am thinking about replanting those. Actually, this one looks like it might be coming back. But yeah, really exciting to see everything coming up. We also got a hanging strawberry basket, and you might have heard me talk about how the deer had eaten all the strawberries, but they are coming back, which is really nice to see. And then we also got a hummingbird feeder, and we have seen a couple of hummingbirds already. So yeah, really enjoying having the garden this spring. Now I'll get to watering. Hello again. I've just packed up my knitting bag and we're getting ready to go grab some lunch and then head to the park for some knitting in public. Hello again. It is now evening. It's almost 8 p.m. here on Saturday, and hopefully you just saw a bunch of videos of my day. We had a super fun, busy afternoon, but as you can also see, I'm now back in my chilly craft room in my Friday shrug, and I just wanted to check in for a little wrap up for today. So let's see, we left earlier to go to lunch, and we went to North Star Cafe, which is a Columbus staple. It is vegetarian mostly. but they have the world's best veggie burger. So if you're ever here in Columbus and you like a veggie burger, definitely worth checking out North Star. That's what I got, veggie burger. And Troy had a salad, it was really tasty. And then we went to the Park of Roses and I got some really pretty footage. It was maybe a little late in the season, like just like my roses here at home. Most of the roses are starting to wilt a bit already, but they're still super beautiful. I love that park. It's always nice to go for a stroll there when all the flowers are in bloom. And we did a little bit of knitting there. And it was just kind of buggy and hot and we were in the sun, so we decided to go to a cafe to get some coffee. So we went to Roosevelt Coffee Shop, which is another favorite little local place, and got some coffee. I had an iced dirty chai, which is one of my faves, and we did a little knitting and reading there. I was knitting, Troy was reading. And what did we do? Okay, so after that, we went to the Arts Festival, which was super fun. It was very hot here today. It was 90, almost 90 degrees. Definitely got a little sun. I don't know if you can see, it's coming on right up here. But it was super fun. We just, I'm a bad content creator and I didn't get a lot of videos there, but hopefully I put a little bit in. We did end up buying 2 pieces of art, so I will show those to you hopefully tomorrow, but we bought a little painting of a coffee cup that we're gonna add to the gallery wall in our dining room, and then Troy bought a print for his office, which is really cool. It's like this artist had all of their paintings were like birds interacting with cameras in some way. I don't know, it's really cool. Hopefully I can show you all tomorrow. And the other thing I bought was, surprise, surprise, yarn. I wasn't expecting there to be any yarn there. It's mostly like a fine arts kind of thing, but there was one vendor that is a local alpaca farm and they had some mini skeins and I bought some, of course. So again, I'll show you those tomorrow morning because I forgot to bring them in, but they're beautiful. I had a really hard time picking colors, so that was a fun surprise. If there's yarn, I'm gonna buy yarn, of course. So yeah, we walked around there for a while, met up with my sister and some of her friends, and then we actually ended up running into my friend Mariah and her husband and son, who is the little boy that I'm knitting the sweater for that I was working on today, and we ended up going out to dinner with them, which was super nice. We went to Greenhouse Canteen, which is a really good vegan, gluten-free restaurant here in Columbus, and it was just a lovely evening and we had a great time. I'm tired and hot and sunburned, but we had a really good time. I feel like this was the first really hot day where I was outside for a lot of the day, and that always kind of takes it out of me. So I'm looking forward to having a night in, listening to my audiobook, maybe watching some podcasts, and working on Shiloh's sweater, which I'm hopefully going to finish tonight. So yeah, that's it for today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good morning. It is now Sunday, June 11th. It's about 8:30 in the morning, and I just wanted to start off with a check-in. So yeah, I woke up pretty early today, about 6:30. I made some tea. I had a muffin, one of the blueberry ones I made yesterday. Had some snuggles with my cat Alex. I think I got a video of that to share with you. And yeah, I've spent a little time knitting already this morning, so I've cast off a couple projects in the past few days, so today I get to cast on a couple more. But yeah, I did finish my Melange Sweater Junior last night, so I wanted to show you that. It's not blocked yet, but here it is. So, yep, this is the Melange Sweater Junior by Petite Knit. This is the size 2 to 3, which for kid sizes, it's in like years. So that would be the age of the kid. Shiloh, who I'm knitting this for, is just turning 1 in July. So he has lots and lots of room to grow into this. And the design does have quite a bit of positive ease as well. So you can see there is ease there in the body. But yeah, it turned out really cute. I'm thinking about knitting the true like baby version for another friend of mine that's expecting soon in the same or similar colors, just because I feel like this is a nice like neutral color. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. The only thing is that when I switched from knitting flat to knitting in the round, because it is a little drop shoulder design, so you knit like the back and then the front and then join in the round, I do feel like you can tell where that happened. So like right here, there's this kind of band that's like a little bit darker, and it kind of resolved itself like towards the bottom. It doesn't really bother me now that it's all like finished, but that's just something I think that you would need to like keep an eye on if you were knitting this design. There's an adult version as well. And honestly, I found like the less I paid attention to my yarns, the better it looked. Like when I was trying to like really avoid pooling and like it looking different, that actually happened. So if I knit this again, I would just go for it and not be too bothered about like the position of my yarns or anything. But it's just like a cute little sweater nugget. So yeah, got that one off the needles last night. I'm gonna block it today. And I did also want to show you from yesterday. I realized I did put a little video of these yarns in, but I wanted to show you the alpaca yarns that I picked up yesterday at the arts festival. So it is Windy Lane alpacas, and they're based in London, Ohio, which is, I believe, like west of Columbus, about 45 minutes maybe. And yeah, so I got 3 of their natural colors. These are 200 yard mini skeins. So there's just this like beautiful dark chocolatey brown, this beautiful kind of camel color, and then a really rich warm tan, like a light tan or kind of almost cream color. This one is a little bit bigger. It's almost 270 yards. And they're really, really soft, and they smell really like farmy, and I don't know, I'm just really happy with them. The spin is pretty consistent too, considering they are like locally spun. I don't know how they spin them. I really want to go visit their farm and check it out. There's also a yarn store out there in London that I've been meaning to check out, and they carry their yarn there. I love alpaca. I don't know, there's something about this fiber that I just really love. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with these yet. I'm thinking about maybe making like a hat, and if I have like a colorwork hat, and maybe if I have enough left over, like a pair of fingerless mitts or something to match. But yeah, they're really beautiful. I've been really drawn to these like natural shades of brown lately, and this winter, I would like to do like a colorwork yoke, more traditional style of sweater in like natural tones, I think. And then lastly, I just wanted to show you the little painting that we bought. It's just this little tiny coffee cup painting, and I will also be hanging that up today on our gallery wall, and I'll show you that as well. It's just a really cute little guy. So yeah, what am I working on now? So like I said, I've cast off a few things. I definitely have all of my like winter projects on hold still. Most of them are like over here on this shelf. But there were a couple more summer garments I wanted to work on. It's not even summer yet. It's not even like technically summer yet. I don't know why I'm talking like there's no time left, but you know, if you want to be able to wear a summer garment while it's warm, you do tend to want to knit them like earlier in the season. So I'm going to be casting on 2 new tees this weekend, and I already cast one on this morning. And that is the Wood Anemone tee by Sari Nordlund. It's a brand new pattern. It just came out on Friday, and I'm trying to see if there's a photo of it in the pattern. So here is a photo of it, of the yoke. It's this beautiful lace and bobble yoke. very classic sari Nordland style. And then it's just got a short sleeve and it's cropped. And mine is gonna be very cropped. This is gonna be a game of yarn chicken for me for sure. So the yarn I'm using is this cotton, this Pima cotton that I just got from For the Birds Rehab, which is a secondhand yarn store. And it's really beautiful, like naturally dyed indigo cotton, 100% Pima cotton. It did not say that it was mercerized, and maybe it's not, but it is quite lustrous. Like it really has a nice shine to it. And this is, I think it's BZY Peach, which I assume is supposed to be Busy Peach. And the color is Bilberry. It's just this really pretty, and you can see there's quite a bit of like variation, which gives it a very nice dimension. So I got 3 skeins of this from For the Birds. And the one thing is that this skein here is quite a bit darker than the other 2. And I don't know how well that's going to come through on the screen, but it is, oh, maybe that's better. Yeah, it is like quite noticeable, even though they're the same color. There were no dye lots or anything. And you know, they called this out on the listing. I knew that one was going to be darker. So my plan is to start with the darker color, and I'm going to be doing the neckband in that color. And then once I get to the yoke, I'm going to do helical knitting and alternate skeins, and then hopefully do the body and the sleeves in the lighter, the solid of the second lighter colored skein. So let me show you what I have. I cast on the neckband, and I've just been working on that. You can see this stitch marker here. My sister made me a whole set of these marble cardsuit stitch markers, and I love them. They're some of my favorites. So yeah, just working on the neckband. It's 1x1 twisted rib. And in the pattern, it does call for a folded neckband, so it's double thickness. I'm not going to be doing that because I'm going to be playing yarn chicken with this. I only have these 3 skeins and I can't get any more. And I don't know, I'm a little nervous about it. So the design is already cropped. I'm sure I will be cropping it more just because I have a short torso. And I probably would have done that anyway, but I am concerned about having enough yarn for this. So yeah, I'm gonna omit the double folded neckband and just knit to the specified, you know, half of the specified length, and just leave it with the long tail cast on edge and go from there. But it is a really beautiful yarn. It's really knitting up, like there's a lot of definition. It's very pretty. So yeah, I started this today. And then the other thing I'm going to be casting on, if not today, probably tomorrow, is my second Tulsa tee by the Crayabea. And that is going to be a cream version with eyelets, just like Rebecca did one of her samples is just like that. So I'm pretty much going to do just the same way she did her sample. And I'm envisioning that as like a layering piece, or a piece that I'll like tuck into skirts. So I'll probably knit that one a little bit longer. But yeah, those are my knitting plans for the rest of the day. Right now, we're still planning to go to the fabric swap. There is a chance of rain, so I'll keep you posted. It's possible it could get rescheduled or moved to a different venue. So yeah, hopefully that will still happen today. If not, it'll probably happen next weekend. But yeah, I'm probably just gonna have lunch at home and then be going to that. So the next footage you'll probably see will be hopefully the fabric swap. And if not, maybe me back here explaining why it didn't happen today. But yeah, the weather seems like it could be a little tricky today. And normally they do it outside on the lawn. So we will see, fingers crossed. Hopefully we still get to go to that today. And I will touch base with you in a little bit. hello again. I am here this afternoon on Sunday to show you all of the wonderful things that I got at the fabric swap. It's now about 4:30 p.m. and I've just been organizing everything and preparing it to show you guys. Thankfully, it is raining, so it's a little gloomy in here, but the swap was not canceled. They just moved it inside. And I just got a couple of little video clips of the swap. It was so like crazy in there and just kind of frenzied. People were grabbing things and it was really busy, which was awesome to see. But of course, it totally slipped my mind to take videos. And then by the time I remembered, it was just really crazy in there. So I did get a couple of little clips, but I also ran into a really kind viewer there who came up and said hi, and I believe your name was Nicole, but if I got that wrong, I'm really sorry. It was so crazy in there. I kind of was like out of my head, just like running around, but it was really, really nice to meet you, and I really appreciate you coming up and saying hi, and leave me a comment below, and whether I got your name wrong or not, I really hope I didn't. I'm sorry if I did, but please leave me a comment and say hi. It was really nice to meet you in person. And I'm just gonna jump right in because I have a ton of stuff. I only brought one tote bag with me, and that was a mistake. I definitely had to go out to my car and drop stuff off and come back in and to get more stuff, like twice, I think. So let me show you what I got. And again, this is at the local fabric and yarn store called So to Speak. This is a once-a-year event that they host where you can bring any like art or craft supply, but it's mostly fabric and yarn. Quilting fabric, garment fabric, and yarn is mostly what it is. And you can leave anything that you don't want anymore. People just kind of put things out on tables, and then you can take anything that other people bring, and it's all free. It's just a swap, which, I mean, I'm probably looking at like $1,000 worth of stuff in front of me. Like, it's so crazy to me. This is like my Christmas. I look forward to it every year. So let me show you what I got. I'll try to go through them fairly quickly because there's a lot here, but I'm gonna go in order from like smallest to largest regarding yarn things, and then I did get a little bit of fabric that I'll share with you at the end. But the first couple of things are just like small. I grabbed a couple of fixed circular bamboo needles. I honestly haven't even looked at the sizes yet. I just prefer bamboo needles, so I grabbed these just to add them to my collection. It looks like there's a 16-inch US 9, a 16-inch US 7, and a 29-inch US 10. So I'll just add these into my collection. I found some really fun vintage buttons. So I got these, which are like a shell button with a little gold knot in the center. There's quite a few of them. There's probably like 12. And then I got these little gold shanked buttons with a little bit of texture on them that are really nice. And I got these, which I really like these. They're kind of, I feel like these could go with anything. They're a little bit larger, but they're like neutral and cool, if that makes sense. Like they're brown and gray. So I feel like these would go with a lot of things. I really like those. So that's all the small stuff. Now I'll go into yarn. I was trying to be a little bit more choosy this year with what I took home. There was so much stuff there, and my instinct was just to grab everything, but I did try to only grab things that I really thought I would use, colors that worked for me or things I know I would knit for other people. So again, I'm gonna kind of go in order from smallest to largest. So one of the first things I picked up was this mini skein set, this gray fade. So this is Cloudborne Fibers Superwash Sock Twist Mini Set. And the colorway is Clark's Nutcracker. But yeah, so there's 5 mini skeins, 115 yards each. Total weight is 125 grams. But I just thought this was a really pretty fade, and even individually, these are just really nice colors to have in minis, these really pretty neutrals. The next thing is a mystery skein. I picked up this little skein of a really dark brown. I think this is like either natural wool or alpaca. It's like a chocolatey brown, similar in color to the skein of alpaca that I picked up at the Arts Festival yesterday. It's a small skein. I'm guessing this is 50 grams. this might be hand spun. It doesn't have any kind of information on it, but it's just a beautiful color. And I would guess it's like a sport weight. I'll find a use for that guy. The next single skein I got is this one. This is Wool Becomes You. Let's see. Looks like it's from a yarn shop in Virginia. And this is Cold Winter Yarns DK weight, 100% wool. That's all it says. So yeah, this is, although it says it's DK, but it's 4.7 ounces, 400 yards. So it looks more like a fingering or sport weight to me. But it's just a really pretty natural cream color. It's pretty rustic. It's very firm. It's really nice. It kind of reminds me of a yarn I'm knitting with right now that was also a farm yarn. So I'll have to find a good way to use that. And I am losing the light, so I'll try to move through these pretty quickly. Next, I got 2 skeins of sock yarn. So this one, these colors are gorgeous. This is Sassy Black Yarns. The color is Fantasy. It's 70% superwash, 30% nylon. It's just really pretty colors. I can't resist those like pinks and purples. This one, also very fun, is Stitch Together Studio. It's Stitch Classic, 80% merino, 20% nylon. Yeah, the color is Strawberry Moon. It's really pretty. And then I have another mystery skein, but I think this is Spin Cycle, which I kind of can't believe. I think this is Rusted Rainbow, or it's a really close dupe for it, or maybe, I don't know. It feels like Spin Cycle to me, having worked with it recently, which I kind of can't believe somebody would bring this. Like, probably they made a project and had an extra cake, but yeah, I grabbed this. I don't know for sure, there's no information on it, but it definitely looks like Spin Cycle to me. Beautiful variegated skein. Next is my first lot. So I got 2 skeins of Veil by Brooklyn Tweed, which is American Rambouillet. This is lace weight. It's really beautiful. The color is Vernal. It's like a neutrally light green kind of pistachio color. And I just made a pair of mitts out of lace weight yarn, which I will show in the next podcast, but I held it double, and I feel like that's probably what I'll end up doing with these as well, is holding it double to create a fingering weight. But they're really, really nice. Beautiful color. And the wool is really squishy and nice. Next up, I have 3 skeins of this. This is Patton's Classic Wool Worsted. It's the dark gray marl, so you can see it's like a dark heather gray and white marl. I have 3 skeins of this, and it is, what weight is this? It's 100% pure virgin wool. It's 100 grams and 210 yards. So I guess that's like a DK. Yeah, it's really pretty. 3 balls of that. I'm sorry for a little bit of crinkling here. One thing they had a lot of that I'm guessing they will still have a lot of, I didn't really see that many people grabbing it, was a lot of acrylic yarn. And I did grab a pack of that. It is like a cream with a neutral tweed. And it's, I love this yarn, super soft, super savings tweed. It's 100%, what are you? 97% acrylic, 3% viscose. I think this is worsted weight. Yeah. But I picked this up because I'm gonna be knitting for a couple of young boys. So my friend Mariah, who her son I was knitting the melange sweater for, he's just turning 1. And my other friend has a baby due in November. So I thought this would be cute for some baby sweaters. And I feel like acrylic is a really practical fiber for baby sweaters because it can be machine washed really easily. So that's what I picked that up for. The next one is interesting, and I don't know what it is. It's another mystery lot, but I have a lot of it. It is this black boucle. So you can see how curly that yarn is. It is like a true boucle. It is wool. The woman who dropped it off. Couldn't remember exactly where it was from or what the content was, but it is definitely wool, you can tell. And she was sure it was wool. I have like 5 skeins of this. So yeah, I feel like I need to make a really cool like black boucle sweater or cardigan. Ooh, a cardigan could be cool. Please let me know if you have any pattern recommendations for boucle yarn, because I feel like the weight of this is like, I don't know what to consider this. Because I mean, it's thin, but I feel like it's gonna knit up fairly chunky because of the boucle. So yeah, please, I know I've been seeing more and more of it, but if you have any recommendations, please let me know, because I'm looking for a larger pattern of something to make with this. Like I said, I have quite a bit of it. So yeah, but it's gorgeous. Next one is also a mystery. Oh no, this one's not a mystery. I know what this one is. I have a whole bag of it. There's probably the equivalent of 4 or 5 skeins of this in here. It is this gorgeous purple tweed. It actually reminds me a lot of the Kelborn Woolens Cricket that I'm using for my pressed flowers cardigan, which I haven't worked on in a while, but it is a similar color. The tweed on that yarn is not as exaggerated as this is. This is Donegal tweed, homespun, made in Ireland. It's worsted. Yeah, it's color 811. I can tell this is quite old just by looking at the tag. It's fairly yellowed, but it's super beautiful. I have a whole bag of it. So I feel like this will be a sweater, maybe not for me. This might become a sweater like as a gift, just since I'm making a cardigan already in a similar color, or maybe for Troy if he wants a adventurous purple sweater, but more than likely it'll become a gift for someone in the family or a friend. Yeah, it's really beautiful, beautiful tweed. And again, I have like a sweater's quantity of that. Last yarn purchase, there's a huge amount of this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 balls of this. And it is this. It's Touch of Linen by Lion Brand Yarn. It's from their Touch of Luxe line. And it is 51% cotton, 49% linen. 100 grams, 179 yards, so that's like a spot on DK. And it is this beautiful silver color. The color is Glacier. I really like these like cool blue grays, and yeah, I have 8 skeins of this. So this is, I think I might, I don't know what to do with this. This is either gonna become like a summer cardigan or some kind of like chunky cotton knit. I almost want to like hold it double and make like a really chunky cotton cardigan or something like that. But yeah, it's a really beautiful color. Okay, that's it for yarn. I mean, that's a lot. That's so crazy. Let me do fabric quickly. I don't have as much. The first thing, so my friend Mariah went with me, and we are planning to have a little like bag making day around the holidays to make reusable gift bags. So we picked up all the like Christmassy quilting cotton that we could find to make bags with, and there were also zippers and all kinds of stuff. So she picked up some zippers, but I was just going to quickly show you the Christmas cottons that we picked up to make bags with. So there's this cute little fair isle one, some candy canes, very classic plaid. This one's beautiful. I feel like this might be Rifle Paper Co. Has the gold. And then there's just like a really classic stripe. So yeah, we'll probably mix and match those to make some really cute little Christmas bags. I got this amazing sweatshirting, so you can see the texture. It's like a fairly open knit. It's a gray. And then it's like a really fluffy plush terry on the back. So I just want to make like an easy, like throw it on like short sleeved sweater out of this. It's really nice. I like it a lot. Then I have so much of this. I found this beautiful fabric. It's quite thick. It has these metallic like rose gold stripes, and there's a ton of it. Like I guess there's 3 or 4 yards here. I think I'm going to make a closet cord knix dress out of this, but like a fall winter version. So like a long one with the long sleeves. So far all the knix dresses I've made have been shortened. I just did 2 tiers and short sleeve, so I want to make like the full on like long sleeve, long skirt version, and I think this would be really pretty in that. Has a lot of texture. And last but not least, the one thing I actually went in with the intention of hoping to find, I have identified that there is a hole in my wardrobe for a denim skirt. And I know that is just something I would wear constantly, like all the time, and would go with a lot of the things I've been knitting and a lot of the things I've been sewing. So I was on the lookout for denim, and I found this humongous chunk of denim. I think that this is a duvet cover. I have not actually opened it up to look at it yet, but it is 2 very large pieces of fabric seamed together. So I think it's a duvet cover, but I'm gonna cut it up and make a skirt out of it. It's non-stretch denim. It's well worn in. It's like very drapey and soft and nice. And I'm gonna make a skirt and probably a top and maybe a dress out of it because there's a ton of it here. It's probably like a king size duvet, I think. So yeah, that is it. So much good stuff. I'm really excited. I just love this event. I think it's such a great idea. I wish more people would like host things like this, and if you can find one in your area, I highly recommend it. I mean, this is enough supplies to keep me busy like for the rest of the year, if not longer. Like, it's so amazing. And again, I walked out of there with all this stuff for free. Like, it doesn't get any better than that, you know? And I truly think all of this, every single thing here is something that I will use, and I'm excited about them. So yeah, thanks for following along on that. It was a lot. Next steps, just in case anyone's curious, because this is secondhand stuff, you know, you don't know the conditions that it was in people's homes. So for the fabrics, I will be washing all of them, even the quilting cottons. I will just wash and dry them how I would normally wash and dry my clothes because I don't know the contents or anything. The only one I'm a little worried about is the crinkly like striped one with the rose gold stripes. I'm not sure how that will do in the dryer, but we're gonna find out. Regarding the yarns, if it's in a sealed bag, I'll probably just leave it in the sealed bag. If it's not, it's probably gonna get popped in the freezer in a bag for a couple of days just to kill any potential like little pests or like nasty things that might be living in there. So as not to like introduce those things into the rest of my stash. I don't always do that, but with something like this, when I'm bringing a lot of new things into my stash at once, I usually will take that extra step and precaution. But yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for following along on my vlog experiment this weekend. It's been really fun. I'm getting really excited to do my week of summer vlogs in not this coming week, but the week after that. I will probably record a regular podcast before then as well. But that is it for this weekend. I'm just gonna spend the rest of the evening like washing these fabrics, getting this stuff ready to be stored or popping it in the fridge, and doing some knitting. So thank you for watching. I hope you had a great weekend full of crafty adventures, and I will see you next time. Bye.